So here I am, paradise on earth. Best beaches I've ever seen in my life, freshest food you could ever put in your body, and my best friend right by my side. Everything you could ever want. And then exactly 1 month, I have to give it all up. Because this month, July 2026, was supposed to be the month that I was completely debt-free, living the life I've always wanted. But instead, I got under $1,000 under my name, pretty much broke, and I'm leaving. But let me back up. Let me tell you how this happened. So back in November of 2024, I literally packed up my entire life and I moved to Greece. This wasn't just me like waking up one day and said, hey, I'm gonna move to Greece. It was a plan. I've always wanted it my entire life. And the reason I could do it is because I run my entire business remotely. So at that time I had 2 clients. One of them made up about 20% of my income, and then the other one made up about 80%. And this is someone that I worked with for years. It was steady, it was reliable, it was something I could count on every single month. The kind of thing you actually build your life around, just like everyone does. So that's what I did, built a life around it. I had beach, I had the freedom. It was the entire reason I moved here in the first place. Literally everything was going according to plan, everything. Until it wasn't. Fast forward to May 2025, the 20% client shuts down, just calls me up and says, hey, sucks to do this, but hey, we're actually shutting down. We're losing money, blah, blah, blah. And just like that, 20% of my income gone. And to be honest, I wasn't really worried. I mean, 20% of my income is really not that much. I'm like, all right, I could probably build this back up. Not a big deal. Thank God I had the 80% still going, you know? That was until June 2025 happened, where everything basically came to a head. This was kind of like a long time coming, and I got fired. Just like that, no warning, just a message on Slack saying, hey, really hate to do this to you, buddy, but I gotta let you go. And yeah, the client I was working for years, the thing my entire life was built around, was gone. Now, I'd be lying if I said that it hit me really hard. I was kind of expecting it. We just didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And to keep it short, you know, I won't ramble on about this guy, even though I'd really like to. I felt this sense of freedom. I'm like, man, finally, because the hours that I was working prevented me from doing all the cool shit that I wanted to do here. I'd be working starting in the afternoon all the way until like 11 o'clock at night because we're operating on US hours. So I took like a month off and I said, all right, you know, let me enjoy a little bit, but I'm the type of guy that, you know, I can't not do anything. So after a week, I got kicked in the nuts because that's when it really hit me. And just like that, there I was, no clients, no income, and a beautiful house literally here on the beach, which looking at it now, I'm just like, what the fuck? But I was thousands of miles from anywhere I could just go out and just get a job. It's not the same here. Shit's different. So what did I do? I do what a lot of people do when the money stops coming in. I started putting it on my credit cards just to survive the month. I knew something was gonna pop up. I'm not an idiot. I have a bunch of skills. And so I wasn't really worried, but nothing came through. Not for a very, very long time. And it wasn't just the money that just started kind of like disassembling everything. The thing that really bothered me was that I put my entire business that I've been working at it for years completely on the side because I put them above me. I decided to build their business instead of my business. What a fucking mistake that was. And so a lot of people may say, you know what, man? Bro, you're in Greece. The most beautiful country in the world. You got beaches, you got sun, you got women, you got everything you could possibly ask for. Not in the winters, homie. It is brutal, non-stop rain. It's been like this for the past 2 days. The windows were shaking. Like you can hear the wind. It's been bananas. Straight up the perfect storm. Wind that I have never even seen anything like this before. It's like you're living in a typhoon. I'm talking 80-mile-an-hour wind coming in one direction for days straight. I think one time I counted 4 days straight. But the mind here is that look where I'm at. I'm literally on the beach, on the water. And so when you see this stuff, this rain, the clouds, the darkness, but you also see the beach, it kind of messes with your mind a little bit. Like when you think beach, you're just thinking sun, fun, vacation, drinks, no worries, all good, because that's how we all know it as. Instead, you want to take a shotgun and brush your teeth with it every single day, because by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, lights out. All this beautiful scenery that I'm looking at right now is completely gone. It is like you literally have turned off the lights. So that combination of not having income, not having daylight, not having anything that's working, at least working in the right direction for me, put me in this crazy state of depression. And so I spiraled, man. I spiraled hard. Like, honestly, still kind of dealing with it. And I've gone through a lot of stuff in life, but this one was very different because, when you're approaching the age that I'm at right now, I'm 45, gonna be 46 in a few months, you kind of start to rethink shit. You're like, man, what the hell am I doing with my life? From one day of having it completely all figured out to the next day, completely have the floor taken out from under you. And so every month that went by, what was I doing? I'm charging it on credit cards, digging the hole deeper and deeper every single month. And I wasn't doing anything crazy. I wasn't going out spending a shit ton of money on drinks or buying fancy things. I was cognizant of the money that I had left, and I was trying to spend as little as possible. But what happens is it's literally like a countdown. You have, let's say 10 seconds left, and you just see the timer just start going down and down, and before you know it, it's all gone. And I didn't just pick the city that I'm at here blindly. I have family here, and you'd figure they would at least ask, hey man, is there something I can help you with? Absolutely not. Not one person, anyone in my family did that. I have a lot to say about that, but that's gonna come in a different time. I will though, however, give a shout out to George, my good friend in Cyprus, who was the only one that stepped up. George, love you, man. But even with this help, between the debt, the darkness, and handling all of this stuff myself, something had to give. So it's July 2026, and in 1 month, I'm going back to the US. The thing that eats me up inside is that, I moved here to actually enjoy my life, to be able to go out. Being in the online world, you're always at your computer. And so you have this, digital life that I think needs to get balanced with the analog life. Going out, touching grass, going in the ocean, talking to people, normal things. I'm Greek, so I do speak the language. I love the culture. And so I was kind of hoping maybe meet someone. I don't know. If it happened, it happened. If it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. But that was kind of the plan. Just kind of slide into the back nine of life and just kind of take it easy, And the crazy part is I can honestly maybe remember a handful of days that I could say, man, I really took advantage of this. Because like I said, I was always working. The hours were completely the opposite. And when that happens, you actually realize how little time you have left. I mean, you literally have the mornings, and God forbid, you gotta go grocery shopping or maybe run a few errands. Before you know it, you're doing your stuff in the morning, and then boom, you're at work, and then the next thing you see is nighttime. I moved to Paradise, and I never even allowed myself to be in it. I remember talking to my friend, and she was saying, hey, how far is the beach from your house? I go, man, it's right here, but there's another better one that's like 5 minutes away. She goes, man, I wish I was there. And I remember telling her, yeah, I wish I was here too. But there's no point in dwelling on all of that. Here's what I'm gonna do about it. So first things first, gotta get back to the US. And I gotta do anything that brings in consistent income. It's definitely not gonna be the dream. In fact, it's probably gonna be some of the shittiest jobs, work I probably ever have to do. But there's times in life where you just gotta swallow the pride a little bit, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. As long as it's steady, it solves the current problem. I need to get an apartment. Thank God I don't have to buy another car because I didn't sell it when I left. Get things stable, and eventually get back into fucking beast mode. And then I just gotta build it back up, brick by brick by brick by brick. Funnily enough, the reason that I wanna do all that is that so I can come back here on my terms and actually enjoy the life that I've always wanted. But not to live here, just for the summers. Boy, did I learn my lesson. So that's the goal, literally rebuilding from zero, literally. Life is funny. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel as long as I can remember. I have a big video background, but I just never did it. Never had a reason. I never had a thing to actually build it around. God knows I have no shortage of ideas. I could have done them, all the faceless stuff that you could do these days. But for some reason, I just didn't want to do faceless. So I don't know if this thing that I'm doing here, losing everything and rebuilding everything from scratch, is the thing that I'm supposed to be creating a YouTube channel around, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. You know, at this point, I've lost everything, so what more can I lose? Just saying, screw it. Let's see what happens. So yeah, Paradise on Earth, less than 1 month left, starting completely over. Very stressful, a lot of anxiety. And even though I love the unknowns, I am a gambling man. You know, uncertainty does not scare me, but these are big moves. It is a pretty serious thing here. Now, in the few years that I have been here, man, do I have a lot of stories. But I'll get into those another day, another time, a little bit later down the line. But for now, this is where it starts. Rebuilding from zero, in public, starting now. So if you want to see what happens, I guess what are you supposed to say?
Subscribe below.
But I'm going to be sharing everything. The wins, the losses, the thinking behind everything. I'm not going to hold anything back. All right, here we go.